Let's get something straight from the beginning. If you keep finding yourself in one toxic relationship after another, if you're tired of getting hurt, used, gaslit, lied to, manipulated, or constantly walking on eggshells around people, you're not alone. You're not crazy. But you do need to hear some uncomfortable truths. Because here's the thing, toxic relationships don't just happen. They repeat when there's something inside of you that still accepts them. And this is not about blame. This is about self-awareness. You don't attract what you deserve. You attract what you're familiar with. That's where we start. You keep going back to the same patterns because you haven't healed the part of you that believes chaos is love. Maybe you grew up around dysfunction. Maybe your first example of love was someone emotionally unavailable or controlling. Maybe love always came with pain, so now pain feels like love. That right there is the cycle. If you want to stop attracting toxic people, you have to look inward. You have to understand the parts of you that are still wounded. The parts that settle. The parts that mistake red flags for butterflies. Until you do that, no matter how much you try to find the right person, you'll always feel drawn to the wrong ones. Let's talk about your boundaries, or the lack of them. Toxic people love people without boundaries. If you can't say no, they'll keep asking for more. If you're afraid to upset someone, you'll keep shrinking yourself to make them happy. And that's how you lose yourself. People don't just take advantage of you because they're evil. They do it because you allow it. You train people how to treat you by what you tolerate. If you keep allowing disrespect, dishonesty, or emotional manipulation, then that becomes your normal. And once it feels normal, you stop recognizing it as toxic. So what does this look like in real life? Let's say someone keeps canceling on you last minute, making you feel like an option. But you keep answering their calls. You keep showing up. Why? Because you hope that one day they'll change. You hope they'll finally see your worth. But let's be honest, why would they change if you keep rewarding the same bad behavior? The real reason many people stay in toxic relationships is not love. It's fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear that maybe this is the best they can get. But let me ask you, when did loneliness become worse than emotional abuse? When did silence become scarier than being constantly disrespected? It's time to rewire your idea of love. Love is not someone making you cry every other day. It's not someone making you question your worth. It's not someone who controls you, isolates you, or blames you for their behavior. That's not love. That's trauma bonding. And if you're stuck in that cycle, it's because a part of you still believes love should hurt. Healing begins when you finally say, no more. No more pretending things are okay when they're not. No more chasing people who don't choose you. No more ignoring red flags because you're afraid of being alone. You have to decide that peace is more important than attention. That respect is more important than chemistry. That your mental health matters more than keeping someone around who breaks you slowly. And let's talk about the role of self-love here. Self-love isn't just about spa days and affirmations. It's about what you allow. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you don't stay where you're not valued. When you love yourself, you become less tolerant of dysfunction. You stop waiting for someone to treat you right and start giving yourself the love you've been begging for. So how do you stop attracting toxic relationships? You stop being a match for them. That means healing the wounds that attract toxicity. If you grew up feeling ignored, unloved, or emotionally abandoned, you're more likely to tolerate neglect. If you were raised in chaos, drama feels like home. You won't attract peace until you become peaceful. You won't attract healthy love until you feel worthy of it. You have to change your standards. Not just what you say you want, but what you accept. Because let's be real, you might say, I want someone loyal, kind, and emotionally stable, but your actions say, I'll take anyone who gives me attention. Attention is not affection. Consistency is not clinginess. Control is not protection. Learn to see clearly. If someone constantly blames you, guilts you, stonewalls you, or gives you the silent treatment as a form of control, that's not love. That's emotional abuse. If they belittle you, mock your dreams, or gaslight you into thinking you're the problem every time you bring up your feelings, that's not healthy. That's toxic. Stop romanticizing brokenness. You're not a rehab center for emotionally unavailable people. It's not your job to fix them, heal them, change them, or stay through hell to prove your love. Love shouldn't feel like suffering. Your trauma is not a magnet. Your kindness is not a weakness. And your loyalty should not be a death sentence. You deserve peace. You deserve a love that doesn't hurt. A love that listens. A love that's consistent, gentle, and kind. But you'll never find that love until you believe you're worthy of it. That's where the real work is. Sometimes the reason you keep attracting toxic people is because deep down, you don't really believe there's anything better out there. Or maybe you think you don't deserve better. That belief has to change. Because here's the truth. The kind of love you accept is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. Start choosing you. Start walking away from anything that confuses you, drains you, makes you feel small, or keeps you guessing. Real love doesn't leave you anxious. It doesn't feel like walking on eggshells. It doesn't keep you wondering where you stand. Real love feels safe. It feels calm. It brings peace, not chaos. And let's be honest, if peace feels boring to you, it's because you're addicted to drama. And that's something you need to heal, not entertain. You have to become the kind of person who says, if it doesn't bring me peace, I don't want it. And mean it. Let people go if they constantly disrespect your time, your energy, or your emotions. Stop begging for love in places where you're only tolerated. Stop calling it loyalty when it's really self-betrayal. The most dangerous relationship you can be in is the one where you lose yourself just to keep someone else. And here's another truth, sometimes the toxic person is you. Maybe you attract toxicity because you haven't healed the toxic parts of yourself. Maybe you manipulate, guilt trip, or play mind games to get what you want because that's what you learned. Maybe you keep picking emotionally unavailable people because you're emotionally unavailable too. Self-awareness is uncomfortable but necessary. You have to do the work. Therapy, reflection, accountability, healing, growth. You can't just say you want healthy love. You have to prepare for it. Become it. Because like attracts like. If you're still carrying wounds, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. You'll project your pain. You'll repeat the cycle. Until one day you say, I'm done. Done with people who only come around when they need something. Done with romantic partners who make you question your sanity. Done with friendships that drain you, manipulate you, or compete with you. Done with being the fixer. You don't have to fix anyone. You're not responsible for anyone else's healing. You don't have to stay in dysfunction because you're afraid of what people will say. You don't have to keep choosing partners who treat you like an afterthought. Choose you. Again and again. Until it becomes your habit. Until it becomes your standard. Until it becomes the new normal. Because the moment you raise your standards is the moment toxic people stop feeling comfortable around you. They'll say you've changed. Good. You were never supposed to stay the same. They'll say you're too cold now. No. You just stopped tolerating being burned. They'll say you're selfish. No. You just learned that self-love isn't selfish, it's survival. Protect your peace like it's sacred. Because it is. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. You don't have to fight for love. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to be perfect to be chosen. The right people won't make you suffer just to stay. And the wrong people won't stick around when you start setting boundaries. That's the point. Let them go. Let them leave. Let them show their true colors. Let people exit your life if they don't align with the version of you that's healing, growing, and evolving. You're not here to shrink. You're not here to settle. You're not here to repeat cycles. You're here to break them. So take a deep breath. Look in the mirror. And tell yourself, I'm done attracting what hurts me. I'm ready to become someone who attracts peace, love, respect, and joy. Because when you stop entertaining what breaks you, you make room for what builds you. And that, right there, is how you stop attracting toxic relationships.